This is gross.
We're live on Facebook. GDP Live is here. Wednesday, St. Patty's Day. You got to do it on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, come on. I'm Pat. I'm your host of GDP Live. And of course, I have to go live on my namesake day, which, if I can start the show out, GDP Live missed Monday again. Maybe not a big Monday fan. Who knew? But I just not having a lot of luck on Mondays for the stream. Not numbers wise, just as far as like, technical difficult. Like literally last Monday, I was so fucking mad. I couldn't concentrate. And usually, like, I feel like usually when I get angry, I feel like I can sometimes be at my funniest. But like I could not concentrate. And like and then this Monday I had some kind of fucking weird ass like sinus thing that like it just fucking I still obviously, like, you can hear it. It's not sick, because I feel like it's so funny because people will tell you like when like they think you're sick. So, I worked for my buddy yesterday. I did a couple pickups for him, and as I usually drop a truck off at his house, pick up my car, and I saw his lovely wife there, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" We talked a little bit, and I think she heard the stuffiness in my voice, and immediately almost ran away, all but ran away. So it's weird, but I'm not. It's kind of thing where you want to say like, "Oh, I'm not sick. I'm just." It's COVID. Yeah, it's like 18.5 COVID, like 13, like COVID 13. You know what I mean? It's like Apollo 13. They didn't actually get to the moon. But it still sucks. Like, it's still a sinus. I don't know if it's. I was talking a little bit about it with Casey. It might be allergies. It might be whatever. We actually ran into Casey, the wife, George, and I, at Target. We were out there, and it's funny. She recognized. I was like, that kind of looks like Casey, and I was like, that's weird. And then I turned away, and then I turned back, and Casey was looking at us and was like, "Hey!" And I was like, "Oh my god, it is Casey! Holy shit! Okay, good." So, we talked a little bit. And I think that was the last. That was right as she was getting out of her quarantine. So it was nice to see her, even in public, but that Target was so fucking packed that it was like, I think we all had this weird anxiety or whatever from the COVID, kind of that fucking weird, like, just mob of people, kind of just freaking out. Her coming right out of quarantine, me dealing with whatever sinus. I don't think I was really dealing with it too much at that time, but it's weird that people will tell you that you're sick. I don't feel cold anywhere else. I don't have the cold, like, I'm not like, how you can like taste a cold, you can like, or you like have that weird bullshit like feeling like, like, oh, like, all any of that. None of that. It's literally all here. It's all right here. It sucks, but it sounds a lot worse than I guess it is. Plus, I was wearing a mask, so I don't know why she was freaking out so much. It's probably because you haven't gone out in a while, all like that. Yeah, that could be it. Taste the cold, right? I mean, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? You can taste a cold, like you can taste and feel a cold. I know what it feels like. Like, it's not. I feel like shit, but because my head is like fucking, I'm all stuffed up and shit. It was hard to talk, but I don't even necessarily have like the cough or anything like that. There's no, it's just fucking nose shit. So I hate it. Did they tell you after your second vaccine that you may have symptoms for up to the first 2 weeks? Pat, it doesn't matter how you feel. It's all about how people tell you feel. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Just voiced a drop. John Montag and Casey both pounding off. They did not tell me, by the way, actually. They did not tell me that up to. So wait, when did I get the second one? I feel like that was. Yeah, that might be in the show notes. No, I can't remember exactly when. I know I definitely said it on the show, but I can't remember. I go all in. I go all in on zinc products when I start getting cold symptoms. I take zinc every day, Kevin. God damn it. Hey Avery, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's what I was talking about. I just wanted to clarify that Pat is essentially Pat. I don't know why I just started talking in third person. I apologize. Uh, I, me, Pat, am not sick. I don't feel well. It's a weird thing. And Casey, that's very astute of you to share that, because they did not share that I would possibly have symptoms up to 2 weeks after I get the shot. Because I think I'm sure I'm still in that time frame. Because I started going back to mics and shit. I honestly can't remember. I'll have to look at I have my little fucking COVID card down there. But that could be it. But it also could be the changing of the seasons. Like it's going to start getting to warm. It's going to start getting warmer out. So it's going to get warmer so Pat like weather, but not necessarily feeling weather give Pat. Pat no like stuffy nose. Pat no like runny nose. Pat no understand how nose be stuffy and runny at same time, but Pat also have bad sinus headache. And also, Pat just remember, Pat forget to take Pat not cold medicine. God, how damning evidence. No, I didn't take my fucking Sudafed before the show. Fuck. I'm having a stroke. No, I'm not. Shut up. Fuck you, Avery. I said hello to you, dude. People having a stroke don't say hello unless that's all they say. Casey says, I heard you're supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks after the shot. What? That's not true, right? Maybe they injected you with pure COVID. Holy shit. Avery, I would love nothing more to fight somebody right now. Let's go for it, bro. He's drunk already. Avery, you drunk already? Pat knows run. Pat better go catch nose. John make that joke. Pat love it. No, yeah. First of all, Avery, we can. You want any fight? You name it. I'm already fighting Lemaire in July. I almost said October. I am definitely having a stroke. If I have a stroke live, first of all, like and subscribe. Second of all, call 911. Drunk Avery allegations. Yeah, I think Casey, I feel like, and I think you can sense it too. When he's pounding off like this, I feel like maybe he's had a couple. He's tipped a couple back. If you missed it last night, John seeded all of the season 1 guests from Hacks, also himself and myself. We got really shitty seating. I did not vote for that, but he put all that together. Make sure you check that out at Hacks Comedy Golf, Manny's favorite account on the internet. Kiss fight with, God damn it, John, stop trying to get everybody to kiss. John, you know what? Photoshop idea. John as Cupid. You always trying to get boys to kiss. 2021, let's get in the ring. I'll bring out my high school wrestling singlet. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, let's do a grappling match. And we loser kisses the winner. So we're all winners. Avery, yeah. Name a venue. It can't be anytime soon because I feel like I already have an Avery sitting on my fucking head. I like it. I really like it. No, yeah. Name a venue and we can graps, bro. I feel like not like I took a night off of What About with Andy or with Pat and Andy. God damn it. I forgot I'm first name on that one. We were talking about the Dillinger escape plan. We did it Monday night when I felt a little bit better, but I was still a little loopy. Now with all these accusations of the second vaccine giving you pure COVID and all of the symptoms 100%. Because I don't feel, not running a fever, no body aches, no any other things, just sinus shit. That's it. And now, obviously, when I'm trying to live stream, I'm having strokes live on air. So that's perfect. Pat is slowly becoming Luis J. Gomez. Oh my God, am I really? No, no, I don't think so. I don't know if you meant that. I don't know. I do feel oftentimes that I am a real ass dude, but I don't feel necessarily so rattlesnakey. You know what I mean? Like I just like competition. I like a nice challenge. I'm more of a, I guess maybe, you know what? I'm a if I may, Ron, and this is weird to say, no. I'm not just like Luis J. Gomez. I'm like a mix between him and like Burt Kreischer. I kind of need the challenge. Like I go like, oh good, yes, this will be beneficial to me because then I'll grapple with Avery. I don't care. Like again, win or lose, like it's gonna be fun because I think people may want to see that. I don't know. Do I have to wear a singlet as well? Can I wear a doublet? Actually, breaking news. Pat, where's I can God damn, I gotta stop saying this. I speak like I'm writing a description for the show. I never know when I'm writing the description for GDP Live or any like any podcast that I'm in. Like I don't know if I should write them in the third person or if I should write them like as myself or like so it's never so I think oftentimes especially at the top of the show I speak like this if I don't have anybody to like physically another voice to bounce words back and forth with, but I do appreciate you guys pounding off. We got Premium Ron also saying I'm all for you slowly becoming the greatest fighter in the comedy scene. I am, and I'm training for it. And that I don't know if anybody saw. I'm sure everybody saw probably on. We're probably all friends with Naeem Ali, or somebody in the Philly comedy scene that shared that video of him getting sucker punched on stage at the Raven. I believe that was. And so he's a trained boxer. So I don't think I know. Again, like John said in his episode of Hacks and a couple episodes of Hacks, he's not necessarily going to be the best, fastest, maybe not the best fighter, but I would take best grappler. But even Sidney Gant's like a fucking like. There's like a ton of fucking purple belts in Philly. I don't know. In the Philly comedy scene in particular. So, but I would be happy to. I'd be happy to be considered. Ron, I if we make the accusation, we just have to make it specific enough so that I feel like I could defend that title. So like greatest fighter, maybe, but I gotta let me get some MMA classes in. You know what I mean? I want to take some striking classes. Are we going elbows? Can we go, soccer kicks while the opponent's down? Can we knee them while they're down? But sinus pressure fucking sucks. Mondays not working out. I feel like Garfield a lot of times. Philly totally dominates fights. Now I agree. Yeah, crazy videos coming out of Philly. Be careful if you're doing comedy in Philly. Yikes. I mean, I like stand up and all, but if like that's gonna happen, like I'm glad I'm training first of all, but second of all, I don't know if I necessarily want to go like duke it out on stage. That and my immediate reaction because John shared it with me. He was like, I was like, fucking roast battles, dude. Like I knew it. I knew this was gonna happen because people take it too personally. And he's like, no, it's something else. And it's up to people involved to share what the story was. But it was fucking crazy. That was a really weird video. Are you guys gonna try to out for Philly's funniest? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun in the same spirit of now with every round, everybody's gonna be like on each other's podcasts. because now everybody has a podcast. I remember the first couple years that I tried out for Philly's Funniest. It was me and like Andy and a couple other people that I knew that had like podcasts. Shane had already won, I think. No, I think I'd done it a couple times. I can't remember either way. It was really weird that like I guess our signups. Yeah. Yeah, I mean yeah, I don't think I would. Doesn't that come back in Philly or in in Philly in the summer? Isn't that a summer thing? I remember it being hot as fuck a lot of times. But that was a lot of fun. But I remember not all the same people are that were in those rounds are all have like podcasts now. But it was cool because I met a lot of really great comics there, and now it would be more fun because Helium is a lot of fun. I just like the chance, the guaranteed time on a Helium stage. It's so much fun. It's just so much fun. April 1st, I think. Oh, it's happening soon. Okay, well, yeah. Let's all sign up, guys. Everybody, all the peeps, GD peeps, everybody listening, sign up for Philly's Funniest. I probably will too. And much like my any physical altercation that I challenge people to, it's a in a sportsman-like fashion. I'm not here to talk shit necessarily. Well, I mean, I will probably, but I'm not. It's not like nothing personal. You know what I mean? Like, let's all have a fun Philly's Funniest. Let's have the funnest Philly's Funniest. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of good comics though, and I think there's a lot of people, and not I did not feel this way. I really hate. I think I was entering a lot of those comedy. I didn't enter a lot of comedy competitions for a while. Because I really, I fucking hate that. Um, I don't like an art competition because art is subjective, and yes, stand-up comedy in this sense is a performance art. So it's a it's subjective. It's not just about it being like a bringer thing, and that's going to be a lot. That's going to be really interesting too, because I don't know what the layout restrictions are going to be, what the like what percentage of the room you can have full, or how many, whatever it is, like, so how many people are you required to bring, not required, or how many comps do you get? So it can't, maybe it won't be as skewed for like this person or that person, like, oh, you brought, because you were able to bring 10 people and this person only could bring 5, those 10 are louder than the 5. If everybody's only allowed to bring 5, that's pretty cool. That might that might just make it more, but it's still subjective. So like if you have one performance style and another performance style, like it's about being funny, it's the funniest person, but funny is subjective, jokes are subjective, and this is a really weird touchy time. So I think it would behoove everybody to have a very cohesive tape to submit. I'm making a note for myself, by the way. A very cohesive set, professional, as professional looking as possible, because if you just send like an open mic thing, or like where it just looks like your first time or something, I remember my rounds would be like, you go with those weird like they have like a whole title, you know what I mean? And you've never, then you see them live and you're like, this is my first time. You're like, what the fuck? You signed up for a comedy competition your first time ever doing comedy. And I think they want those like kind of Cinderella story, like, I got discovered my first time doing comedy. And then, but it's weird. So it gives so I'm sure with the limited availability and like they want it to be successful, I'm sure they're going to be looking for professional. Again, this is a note thinking out loud for, but yes, I think I will probably enter Philly's Funniest. That would be a lot of fun, especially if and if we get enough of local people or people on the way or anything like that, we can all carpool, because it's a great town to perform in. Love it. Speaking of Philly's funniest, you should check out some of Philly's greatest comics and also New Jersey's greatest comic, John Montag, on Hacks season 1. Also, check out the seating that he did on Hacks Comedy Golf. We are, I'm assuming, voting. So we're going to be doing verses. I don't know when John's going to clear up that bracket and everything, but he explained halfway, or not even halfway, almost immediately during the bracket making that he's not exactly sure how brackets work. But if you're interested, there's you got your Peggy O'Leary, Ryan Foster. You got your Cody Wright, which was I love how people were getting into this. Also, Naeem and Drew from the Durag and Deer Tag podcast. Um, there is a lot of funny in that, and I love the fact that we have that's such a weird way to put that. A lot of funny in that season of Hacks, but like I met a lot of really cool people that like it makes me even more excited that when I do get to perform in Philly and stuff like that, that would be fun. Yes, also Avery. Yes, I was saying Philly. You're not in Philly. I was trying to think of the people that are close to or in Philly. Like Cody lived near or if on the golf course we played, if I remember correctly. But yes, Avery. Yes, Avery Quinn was a delight. Manny and Youngblood were also fun too, but we live close to each other. We went putt golfing too. No, just Philly. I just saying Philly people. Jesus Christ, this is location based. Avery, stop trying to get bad blood between us before a grappling match. You still haven't named a venue yet. And also, if I can wear a singlet, a doublet, do you want me to wear my gi? Do you want to be like a true martial art, like a MMA feel, like gi against singlet? Like you can wear shoes. I don't have to wear shoes. I'll wear the bandana. You can wear your what's the thing? The headgear. Oh, that sounds weird. That's not an insult. What is it called? What's the ear? Is it ear protectors? Does that have a name? I should know more about grappling all around, but I really don't know a lot about jujitsu. I just learned how to say it without saying it like I'm drunk every time. Jujitsu. Jujitsu. Headgear. Okay, yeah, headgear. You wear your headgear. Um, if you want to wear a mouthpiece, that's cool. I usually chew gum, which is cool. Yeah. This is gonna be. I want to see the posters for this, Ron, or anybody. Ron, John, anybody? Hey, Ron, John, any of our ass pros or art dicks out there. If you feel compelled, this would be a lovely Photoshop. Avery and myself, because he's the all American boy, and I'm just I'm the fucking dirty, stupid motherfucking hippie, right? I'll play the hippie here. I'll play the Zen dude. Do you wear a cup with jujitsu? I used to, but I found myself getting injured more with the cup than without it. It's interesting, Casey. I apologize that I'm going to go into depth on this, but yes, usually like a compression short, something like that, and there's like a insert cup that you can put in there. But I found that if that gets misplaced during a roll, things can get askew. And then when you do get impact there, if it's sitting wrong, it actually can mush rather than protect. Whereas like if you don't have anything there to like hold it in or to like crush down onto it, then and usually if you're or when I'm rolling, again, I'm just generalizing, projecting onto other people, but when I roll, like I'm like very conscious of like, yeah, don't like if this was a real fight, I would also be protecting my dick. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of good defense in real life because I wouldn't be wearing a cup walking around. So, and I also, if I remember, I don't know if it's just the competition. I don't know if this is a rule for all competitions. Mike may know more about this actually, but I don't think they allow cups in competition because it's kind of considered a weapon, which is kind of weird because like if you can get their head or face or arm or something pressed up, like again, that's a very hard surface. Yeah, make your jokes, guys. Come on, get them out. Pat Dick too fat. Pat, no. Pat Dick not too fat. Pat Dick too unpredictable. He's unpredictable. He's unpredictable. Can that be a Photoshop? Is that that song? You're unbelievable, but I don't know if it's recognizable enough. You know what, John? Strike that one from the record. Pat, without a cup is more of a weapon. Yeah, Avery, come on now. Now you got too much in the other direction. You flattered too much. Come on now. My dick is hardly a weapon. If it was, it would be very much concealed carry. You wouldn't even need a license for it. It's essentially a pellet gun. But yes, much like a pellet gun, it could hurt you. It could do some damage now. I'll tell you what. But it ain't no Magnum. It ain't no Desert Eagle. I don't know why I went less fingers for that. It's a bigger gun, I think. I don't even know anything about guns, tell you the truth. But yeah, I think I would go without a cup. You are allowed to wear a cup, I think. Or wrestlers allowed to wear cups? I think you have to with that singlet, right? You need something. And you're wearing the one from high school. Avery, if you had to guess, are you close to the same size you were in high school? Got that long again, and it's not really the dick so much, it's the nuts. Like the you don't want that's what you're really protecting. In my opinion. Maybe I should tape them together. I do have a lot of that. I have grip tape and stuff like that. Maybe I could tape my dick and balls together. Wrestlers don't wear cups. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so no cups. So we're going straight dick on dick. We're raw dogging it. Avery and I for our grappling match. I'm thinking a gym. I would like to we could do it in a gymnasium, like on a wrestling mat, like that setup, because I feel like we could actually get people. Could we just rent a gym though? Josh is a wrestler too. We should try to get. Oh, can we weigh in and shit too? What weight? I don't know what weight wrestling weight classes there are. Not a chance. I wrestled 195 in high school. It will be one stretched singlet. Okay, so yeah. And if we're not wearing cups, maybe you can get a bigger singlet. You don't have to wear the one from high school. But if you want to wear a singlet, that's cool. I'll wear a gi, or I can wear my grappling, my no gi shit. That would be cool too. I don't mind that. I got some pretty pretty cool no gi shit as well. Manny versus Josh. Yeah, you think so? Did Manny? I don't know if Manny's ever really grappled. Plus, Manny's elbow hurts. Man, I feel like I'm trying to protect Manny right now. Weigh in sounds like a gay in. Oh, come on now, John. Now you're just feeling left out. Do you want to grapple? You can grapple. How about John against Josh? If John, again, I keep saying that because I'm just adding on to. I feel like I'm digging myself deeper. I'm just like, again, with more dirt. But John is more of an athlete. John was an athlete. John was like an actual, like he played. John, Manny skateboards and juggle. He's an artist. My little Manny, he doesn't fight. He's not a fighter. Thumb wrestling. Okay, so Manny versus Kevin, thumb wrestling. On his good arm. Don't do his bad elbow. Good elbow. Manny's good elbow. Nice one, Montag. Manny tells those stories about fighting every day. Y'all grapple. I'll scrapple. Love breakfast meats. Okay, so John's the cook. John's going to be cooking for us because we're going to be weighing in. Then we're going to want to gain as much weight before the fight. We're going to do it not instead of the day before like they do in the UFC. We're going to do it 2 hours before the fight. So we have an hour to eat as much as we can, and then we're going to fight as much. Like we're going to try to eat as much as we can before so we can get all that weight back. You know what I mean? That's how they do it, right? Popeye's chicken sandwiches and whatever John decides he's going to whip up. I think he said scrapple, right? Uh, as far as breakfast meats too, I don't know if that's my favorite, but I'll take it, John. If it's free, put it out there, baby. Manny got those juggling fingers. I bet you can do it. They're very nimble fingers, but you can take them, Kevin. Plus, you're putting it out there. Who do you want to finger wrestle with? Covered from that one. Still not having a stroke. Don't worry. I have lost every fight I have ever been in. 0-3. Who wants to make it 0-4? Okay, John's out there. I think John against Josh. Or how about this? Before the real grappling match, before the and for lack of a better term, the real grappling match, we have a professional grappling match, involving Kevin, Josh, John, and Manny. We have a pro wrestling fight. Grapple for the scrapple. That's the poster. Kevin, book it. Hold on. Let me hit it. I got it. I got the drops up today, baby. Woo.
Book it.
There it is. That took a long time. I do have them up, though. I mean, I can just hit them all here now.
Adultification.
How stupid can you be?
Not you, Kevin. You're not being stupid. I would also like to chime in and say I'm a terrible fighter, but I'll talk I'll talk really big on the computer screen. Okay. But your computer screen, what's your record on the computer screen, Ron? Because you say you're a terrible fighter, but maybe you are a good fighter, but just not a good like physical fighter. I'm an excellent arguer. I would probably, if I was at all educated, able to read, or interested even a little bit in the law, I would be a great lawyer. Fight me on it. Scrabble. It's a words and eating competition, or maybe Scrabble pieces are made of scrapple, and you can't resist eating. Okay, all right, okay, and you can't resist eating all their pieces. John, I think you're pounding off accurately, and I think this is very concisive pounding that's happening right now, and I'm very proud of you. I love it. Grapple for the scrapple, though, I think that's the name of the event. It's the grapple for the scrapple, and it's officially, as of right now, it would be me and Avery against each other in a real grappling match, and it would be the co-main event would be some pro wrestling type match with John Montag. It would be Josh Dway, Kevin Brocious, and Manny Santiago. One of them can be the ref. One of them can be, it can be any combination of that. Triple threat match. But yeah, Pat George Esquire, injury lawyer, Photoshop on the way. Yes, there we go. There's a natural one. I sign off on that one. But the grapple for the scrapple is the name of the event. Like I'm picturing like that. That's the event title. Avery, oh. And see, that's the thing. It's like I'm not even saying like, oh boy, you fucked up now. I said, Avery, you know what? This is I don't think I even realized that. I'm sure we've talked about it in the past, but like the fact that like you're down for the graps, buddy. You're going down, bud. You better start defending. But this is gonna be like a true MMA event. Just no actual like hammer fists. Yeah, this is hammer fist, by the way. This is hammer fist. There we go. How do you guys hammer? Like this? That's how I hammer. Thank you very much. Grapple for scrapple. Let's do it. Yeah, so we know Avery's drunk. John, I'm sure again, I'm gonna keep his name out of my mouth. Sorry. A certain ass pro and art dick of the show is probably also drinking today. Do you guys celebrate St. Patrick's Day? When, like, there's some people like New Year's. There's some people like it. What's another big, like some people really love like 4th of July. and other stuff. But it's I think they like other things. Does anybody actually really like St. Patrick's Day and not just for the drinking element? Like, is there any kind of like tradition that you guys had? Because I love corned beef and cabbage. So I'm a big fan that a lot of places are specializing, or I think actually Karen, GDP, friend of the show, Karen pounded off on her personal account that she loves the fact that March is you can find really cheap corned beef and cabbage or something like that. Really cheap corned beef. Scrapple is gross. Why so salty? Uh-oh, Casey's turned into the Joker. Why so salty? Sober as can be. I don't let calendars tell me when to drink. Yeah, I that's my okay. So John shares the same kind of feeling that I do. It's like it's okay. Yeah, it's another day. Like New Year's, I get New Year's because it's a cool like restart, and you can kind of celebrate. You can kind of just purge or whatever. But like Mardi Gras or St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, any of those, they're fun, but like it's fun because like, oh, I like drinking. It's fun. Oh, I like it's an excuse for me to get wasted on a Wednesday. I looked at the calendar. What's today? GDP live every ish. You know what? It may just be Wednesdays and Fridays now. I don't know if that's what the planet is telling me, but it might just be Mondays and it might just be Wednesdays and Fridays. I don't know, but it's you get to go out. I just don't. I don't know a lot of the traditions of it. I am sure that I have been told the story of St. Patrick's Day over and over and over and over and over, but I have no idea. I don't remember it, and I kind of don't even want to look it up now. I don't really care. I always had a rule because I would forget because it meant nothing to me. Like it kind of felt like it's not, it's like how I think how Jewish people must feel sometimes. Like if I think it's if your mother is Jewish, that's the rule. If your mother is Jewish and you're born of, through her virgin, then that's like passing through the Jewish doors. You're Jewish. That's it. You don't even get to say I'm an atheist. You can say you're an atheist, but like you don't even like that's how you're baptized, I guess. Like you're just like boom, you're Jewish. So I think, and that I may be completely wrong, but that was also reiterated in Man in the High Castle. I was like, damn, yeah, I forgot about that rule. But that's a legit thing. That's like if your mother is Jewish, you're Jewish. You can convert, but like if it's otherwise, it's like when you have like auto renewal on a subscription. You don't even get the initial email. You're just come out. That's you. You re-up. That's you. So I don't know. Like I don't have any kind of, you don't get to choose if you celebrate it or not. People around you are celebrating it. And, you're not wearing green. Boop. I invented a rule when I was going to school because I would always forget that it was St. Patrick's Day. And I didn't usually implement a lot of green into my wardrobe on a regular basis. But anytime it was St. Patrick's Day, I would go, first of all, somebody tried to pinch me. I go like, my name's Patrick. You can't like I'd said you can't pinch a Patrick on St. Patrick's Day. Like it's our day. So like I took the day. I'd never explained it, but I would always have that excuse. And then eventually I got tattoos that had green ink in them. So like for any work days, and they're always showing. So I could just go got green forever. I have forever green. Forever green. Got it. Covered. I'm green forever. So every St. Patrick's Day, I'm unpinchable because my name is Patrick And I'm here to say I've got green tattoos, so get the fuck away. I just made that up. You're welcome. Why do people pinch? Yeah, okay. You know what? I will look that up. I'm going to look that up, Casey. Great point. I pointed down here because that's where I'm reading it, but you're up here. Sorry. Great point, Casey. I'm going to look that up. I'm not going to look up what St. Patrick's Day is. Don't give a fuck. But I do want to know why people pinch. No pinch. You are not allowed to invade people's personal space anymore. Yeah, that's true too. Like, nobody's out here, but like out here on these streets pinching. But you should get a drop of. You should get a Dropkick Murphy tattoo. No, I don't like that one, Avery. I'm not gonna get. I don't like Dropkick Murphy. That's a band like Social Distortion, Tool, and a couple others that people just assume I like. Don't ever do that again, Avery. Now there's bad blood. JK. Fuck, what was that kind of? Oh yeah. Why do people pinch? Why do people pinch? Really, you don't know what I'm saying, Google? Like they're like, it's St. fucking Patrick's Day, dude. Why do people pinch on St. Patty's Day? Got to be very specific. According to folklore, you get pinched on St. Patty's Day for not wearing green because green makes you invisible to leprechauns, and leprechauns like to pinch people because they can. And that's the exact. That's what it says. What is it? I'm not gonna look at it. Why does a leprechaun leave? I'm not gonna look that up either. Not that interested. Interesting though. Interesting development. I actually have to piss, so I'm gonna piss real quick. But I'm gonna read this. Hold on. What did you say? I wish more punk bands link themselves to holidays. It guarantees relevancy forever. Yeah, that's true. I keep saying that. I should just take that drop from False Count Anywhere. Or would it be, it's just easier to say. Hello, we are the Aquabats, and this is our Arbor Day song. They do have an Arbor Day song, don't they? They have a song for every holiday. But I'm just going to play some music for you guys in the meantime, and I'm going to try to be back in time by the time the song's in. But I love you guys. I'll be right back. Still looking for that piss spot sponsorship. If anybody wants, that's your time. When you drive past the billboard on the highway and it says your ad here, your customer just drove by. Guys, if you have a small business or if you have something that you would love to advertise, that's your opportunity. So maybe I'm not so out of breath from running downstairs. Piss or Amazon wish list. I'm going to be adding one of those piss jugs because, oh mama, boy, oh boy, but I'm back. What I miss? Let's see here. I'm going to read some of the pounding while I was gone. He's gone. Everyone's Everyone say how you really feel. Perfect. No, I see. Now this is perfect though, Ron. I read the correction and I was able to make that alteration. I may be having a stroke now. Okay. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Made it just in time for me to take a piss break. That's awesome. So I'm Johnny Christmas. This is actually the name of some lacrosse legend. I bet he does wear a cup all the time, and he's probably lying earlier. Yeah. You know what, Avery? I do appreciate you being honest like that, but I don't. I never wear a cup. I actually left my cup. This sounds like a Tony Bennett song, but I left my cup in Florida at Dark Wolf Jiu-Jitsu. I was down there right before the pandemic, or not right before. I think it was kind of already starting in some places, but we were coming back from Florida. It was before anything was like any of the lockdowns or any of the shutdowns. I think we worked for like a week before everything started shutting down again, or shutting down completely. But we were coming back from Florida, and fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I joined this thing called bjjglobetrotters.com, and they tell you this: if you're a member of it, then they offer you they tell you places that offer free training or discounted training or let you train for free or whatever. And most places have some kind of trial, or you get to try the first class there for free, or there's like a mat fee or something like that. You can kind of just drop in, but this is a cohesive list, so it's pretty cool. I was training there, and very nice people. They did not. They asked like, when do you usually like to train? And I was like, oh, I usually do 6 a.m. class. And they're like, well, we don't normally offer that. So the guy who I think owned the school and his wife and a couple of people that train there, they invited to say like, hey, why don't you like come in? This guy wants to train. And I don't know if I should have specified that I was just a white belt. I mean, I told him like, I'm just looking to fucking train a little bit, like, but he and kind of taught like almost like a private. It was really nice. It was a really he was a cool dude. And then another day, I think they had like MMA training. He let me roll with some of that. Like those guys were going after it. They had like full fucking gear on and everything. Stunk like crazy. I'm gonna plug business next pee break. Oh fuck, damn it! I shouldn't have just said that. Now everybody's gonna get free plugs in the comments. Well, you know what? If you want to see all of those free plugs, but see, that's the thing is I'm not playing it, so that way you have to join live at Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram to see whatever advertisement Casey's talking about there. I am not a super spreader. No, Kevin. Gosh, I did not have it at the time. I may have it now. I'm finding out from Casey saying that they've injected me with it, and now I have it for sure. That's what she said. Some guy wearing Dark Wolf cup as we speak. My cup may be a super spreader, but I do. I was in a hurry because we were there for a conference, and I was in a hurry. I think the second time I trained there, and they were getting ready to leave. I didn't want to hold them up anymore, so I was like, "Oh shit!" And I think I left it on top of the toilet, and I was just like, "Hey, you can just throw it away. I'm sorry, man." I did no disrespect. I did not mean to just leave my cup in your dojo, but I left it right on the toilet. That's my bad. So since then, I don't know. I brought it there with me, and then after that, I was like, well, I don't have one, so I have to roll without one. The only competition I've ever been in was an in-house tournament that they put on at Harrisburg Jiu-Jitsu, and they said that they were not allowed. So I think that's how it is in most competitions. So I don't. But I did end up finding my old goalie one when I used to play roller hockey. I found when I used that, I found that one, and it actually fit in my compression shorts, but it was just weird. at that point, at training so long without one, I was like, well, I'm just used to protecting my dick and balls. So I'll just continue that. Because again, guys, they don't say this in class, and they probably wouldn't say it even after I suggest it to them multiple times. But you don't have a cup out in the real world all the time. You're not walking around. You're going to have to know how to protect your dick and balls. And if they're going after your dick and balls, you got bigger problems on your hand, buddy. Tell you what. Yeah. I don't know. But I don't understand. So if you're invisible, so if you wear green, you're invisible to a, what other, I think leprechauns may be the only thing that I mean, aside from the leprechaun movies, I haven't really seen leprechauns it's always kind of the same imagery, the same kind of look. And even in the leprechaun movies, it kind of is too. I'm going to look up, this is going to be weird, facts about leprechaun. Yep, there it is. That one didn't take long. 15 things you didn't know about leprechauns. So far, I didn't know that they are invisible, right? Or no, you're invisible to them. Hold on, let's see. Oh, okay. So this doesn't make any sense. The first fact, leprechauns are fairies. Although they might not they might not match your initial idea of what a fairy is. I don't have one. Leprechaun, I kind of do. Tinkerbear? Leprechaun porn hits different. Casey, very much pounding off in the comments. I appreciate that. She says that leprechaun porn hits different. And I would have to agree. I don't think I've seen a lot of leprechaun porn necessarily, but I'd have to say, as far as your pounding, I'd say that's another leprechaun, Conor McGregor. Oh, I turned that way down. There we go. There aren't any female leprechauns. As a way of explaining why, that's kind of, so should we cancel St. Patrick's Day? Because we're saying that they're not allowing there to be female leprechauns. I'm going to read. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Here we go. As a way of explaining why there is no record of female leprechauns, in parentheses, and therefore no way to procreate in the traditional sense, end of parentheses, some sources claim leprechauns are the unwanted children of the fairy community. That's fucking metal as shit. As a result, leprechauns are described as grouchy, untrusting, and so they're trolls. That's what they really are. So what are trolls? They're not at all of the fairy, because I've heard of like fairies and trolls being mentioned in the same stories before, but not leprechauns. But this is cool as shit. This is almost like they're little Jersey Devils. Right? Damn, cancel the cons. Oh, there we go. St. Patty's so sexist. But this is cool. So it's a reverse China. That's what we're looking at here, guys. Fairies only want ladies. So any boy babies they get, they throw out. Boy fairies, the ugly boy dwarf fairies. Man, fairies. Dude. No. Fairies are fucking like aren't they kind of I did not watch the Lord of the Rings, but aren't they kind of the prissy ones? Like, aren't they, if there were a supremacist of the spiritual plane of they're not even cryptids, but like trolls, goblins, I don't know, leprechauns, but that's pretty cool. Very solitary creatures. Okay, so third fact about this is a thing you didn't know about. Sorry, not a fact. Thing you didn't know. There's a leprechaun colony in Portland, Oregon. after I could have guessed that. Actually, it doesn't surprise me. Let's just say that. After noticing a small circular hole in the concrete, probably a sinkhole, where a light pole was meant to be, a journalist named Dick Fagan took it upon himself to make use of it. After adding flowers and a tiny sign and proclaimed it the world's smallest park, stole it from what's it called? Or maybe Parks and Rec took it from them. Either way, Fagan began to write stories about the spot in a newspaper column. He detailed. I don't like this. This is not a good thing. This is stupid. He became. Yeah, I don't like this. This is stupid. Leprechaun. This is the fourth one. Fourth thing you didn't know. Shout out to Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah. I wonder if they talked about it. Did they talk about leprechauns at all? I did like that show. I didn't like follow it exclusively, but I did like that show. Oh, that's a good itch. Leprechaun. So leprechaun, it means small body. Leprechaun is believed to be a variation of the Middle Irish word lutrapan. Oh boy. Lu means small, and corp means body. So it almost looks like lucha, to tell you the truth, Manny. But it's Lu, and the U has like a little hat on top, just a flat hat. LUCHORPAN. The A has a little hat on it. Man, that's weird. But Lu means small and corp means body. Corpse, obviously. Okay. That's I don't know if that's really even worth mentioning. But let's see. Number 5, sometimes leprechauns are red. Did not know that. But don't they have the red hair? Like the whole thing is red? So although the little Irishmen are now synonymous with the color green, they weren't always. Early accounts of leprechauns describe them as wearing red and sporting a variety of hats, often three-cornered. So they look like little British soldiers. That's pretty cool. I guess. That's not cool. Why would I just make that? I don't think that's cool. That's just a thing that I know now. And this is 15 things. It doesn't say 15 interesting things. And it says probably. There's a lot of qualifiers I didn't realize in the name of this list. 15 things you probably didn't know. Number 6, leprechauns have a troublesome cousin called the Clurican. The Clurican. Let's find what this is. Also spotting red is so maybe the red ones are just the Cluricans and the other ones are leprechauns. So there's even castaways apparently from the leprechauns. Like the leprechauns are even like, I don't fucking care. See, this is just more trauma perpetuating more trauma. Trauma equals trauma, guys, unless we stop the cycle. The fairies need to be more accepting of the boy the boy fairies that are coming into their realm. And they say, like, we're not going to cast you out. We're going to keep you. And then none of this would happen if they were just supported for who they were. Fairies, you need to straighten up. Open your eyes. Also sporting red is the rambunctious Clurican, a mythical creature that shares many characteristics with the leprechaun. These beings are always described as drunk and surly. They are often seen, so that's why they're red. That makes a lot of sense. Big, bright red faces. They're just drunk dwarfs, I think, maybe. By the way, they haven't mentioned their height at all. Maybe we'll get that closer to 15. They are often seen in stories riding animals at night. That's pretty cool. I like a Clurican, man. Hey, Hey, John, another Photoshop idea. Clurican. I'm writing it down. Clurican. Look, it's because it's spelled like the kun, like, so it's CL. So I want to know what that means. If corpse, if it's leprecorpse, I want to see what Clurican is. Hmm. All right. All right. So let me see here. They're riding animals at night, clearing out entire wine cellars. Some accounts explain these troublemakers as the night form of leprechauns. After a hard day's work, the bearded fairies get so tipsy that they become entirely different species. This is fucking crazy. This is very interesting. All right. This list is turned around on me. Tipsy elves become so the tipsy not tipsy elves, sorry, that's not a plug. They become an entirely different species. Other stories describe them as being close relative to the leprechaun. I like the Clurican Photoshop. That's what I like. So I'm making a note of that. Number 7, leprechauns. Leprechauns are the bankers and cobblers of the fairy world. So they cast them out of the fairy world, and then they expect them to do all their banking and their fucking cobbling. I don't know if anybody knows shoemaking. I'm sure you guys have heard what shoemaking is, but guys, that's what cobbling is. Leprechauns are known for their money. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about the pot of gold. I'm just picturing them as like drunk little weirdo. Like since we have started talking about leprechauns, the only one I can picture is the evil leprechaun from the movie. And it's because I think I brought him up. Leprechauns are known for their money, uh, and there's apparently a lot of cobbling of it in the cobbling business, since they always do have nice shoes. Hold on, John just sent me something. Nice, very nice. It was so funny. I was just looking for that in the comments. I was like, oh, I want to make a note of that just in case. And he sent it to me, the Photoshop he was talking about. Thank you very much, John. Ask Pro, art dick of the show. Rich, horny, horny little shoemakers up there in Oregon. Little fucking drunk hippies fucking making shoes and fucking each other in the woods. Fucking weirdos riding my animals. That is a beautiful Photoshop that John's going to come back and hear about. That is so wonderful. John, thank you so much for that. But leprechauns are known for their money. I forgot about the pot of gold shit. So that makes sense why they would be bankers. They always got those slick little buckle shoes on, and they're always sharply dressed in any, I've never seen it. I want to look at a picture of a cleric. I'm sorry. I can't get off of the clerican thing. And now that I actually wrote it down here and I can spell it, AKA cheat, clerican. I got to find out with this motherfucker. Okay. So they're just a little drunk. They're leprechauns that took their, he only has like one little shoe on. Hold on. I'm not actually, you know what? I'm going to save it for the Photoshop. You guys are going to see probably in a future episode. John, just anybody Google that. It's Clurichaun. That is a clerican. It's basically just a little drunk leprechaun. There's not a ton, but they look like leprechauns that are off. That's what they were explaining, and that's exactly what they depict. That's so interesting. Little drunk case. Leprechauns are known for their money, and there's apparently a lot in the cobbling business. Since they spend most of their time alone, the tiny green men never thought they were green, always thought they just wore green, but either way, green men pour all their energy into crafting shoes. They're said to always have a hammer and a shoe in hand. According to the legend, you can hear them coming by their telltale, excuse me, tapping. Why would they put those words together? Sound they make. I guess little clippy claps. While some stories attribute the leprechaun's wealth to their fine shoes they make, others say they protect the treasure of their entire fairy world. One tale Jesus. No, they got me fucked up with the other word. One tale says leprechauns act like bankers to make sure the frivolous fairies don't spend all their gems at once. Also heard it was gold. Never heard about gems before. Never heard about that shit. Leprechauns are sneaky. That's number 8. So they're sneaky bankers that also make shoes. Very interesting. Wherever. Okay, so number 8 is leprechauns are sneaky. So why would they like this? This doesn't make any sense. They're cast out of the fairy realm where now where the fairies keep their money is also here. So it's not necessarily a punishment. They're just saying, you ugly little shit, go watch my money. Go watch my money and fucking protect it, you weirdo. And help me not to spend it. So like fairies are just the the rich dumb asshole kids of the spiritual realm or that realm. That doesn't make any sense. They're very privileged, these fairies. I don't like fairies. Fairies are dicks. They're like, get the fuck out, watch my money, make me some shoes. Fairies don't even need shoes, right? Who buys shoes from a leprechaun? I was misled by cereal ads and horror movies my whole life. Leprechauns are very interesting. Very interesting. And apparently sneaky, as opposed to what number 8 says here. Wherever there are leprechauns, there are stories of people trying to steal their gold. The rule is, if you're lucky enough to catch a leprechaun, you can never take your eyes off them or he'll disappear. In one tale, a man managed to catch a leprechaun and force the fairy to divulge the secret location of his treasure. The leprechaun reluctantly pointed to a tree. Delighted, the man tied a red bandana around the branch and ran home to get a shovel. When he returned, he was dismayed to find all the trees were sporting the same red scarf. Yeah, so they're dicks. Would have been a lot easier. So the leprechaun was like, I'm not gonna just take the one off the one tree. I'm gonna be like, fuck you, dude. Where did he get all the bandanas from? His little cleric and friends? Number 9. Leprechauns can be generous if you're kind to them. I guess this is the catch a tiger by the toe story. Constantly being chased for one's gold on cereal. they're saying like, sure, that's how he's depicted on the cereal box, but we laugh, guys, but this is a serious problem. Can take a toll on a fair. I don't like them calling it a fairy either. We're talking about leprechauns here, guys. I'm not after a fairy's gold. I'm after a leprechaun's gold. And the leprechauns were cast out by the fairies. Guys, I'm never going to forget that. That's a little chip on my shoulder here. Okay, so constantly being chased for one's gold or can take a toll on a fairy's demeanor. As a result, leprechauns are distrustful and secretive. This attitude doesn't mean that they won't loosen the purse strings if touched by a bit of kindness. One legend mentions a down on his luck nobleman who offered a leprechaun a ride on his horse. In return, the man returned to his crumbling castle to find it filled to the ceiling with gold. Jesus Christ. So they're just like really good tippers if you give them good service. They're very nice people. Every time I see a Lucky Charms, I'm going to think about how horny this guy is. Yeah, these guys are weird, man. Number 10, someone claims to have found the remains of an actual leprechaun. This is going to be interesting. In 1989, a local businessman in Claringford, Ireland, claimed to have found evidence of a real leprechaun on a mountain called Sleeve foy. It's SLIEV dash or no space, excuse me, FOYE. He said that after hearing a scream near a wishing well, he found bones and a wait, what? After hearing a scream near a wishing well, he found bones, a tiny suit, and gold coins near scorched earth. The evidence is now displayed behind a glass case for visitors to come see. As a result, a new tradition was born during an annual leprechaun hunt. 100 ceramic leprechauns are hidden on the mountain. Tourists come every year to try to hunt down the little green statues. Hunters need to buy. I'm not gonna fucking. That's weird. Number 11, leprechauns are protected under European law, but I guess after they're like, all right, if there's going to be so I think I'm going to just do a little quick assumption but just by the title, like a lot of people do with most articles. The title of this one, I think, leads me to believe that after in 1989, this law was probably made in 1990, 1991. After a while, they're like, all right, guys, we can't just keep bringing in tiny skeletons with suits and just being like, oh, it's a leprechaun. So, yeah, it's fun. It's fun now. We don't have to investigate it. It's fun. This is just this tiny little sack of bones and a little suit and a little couple gold coins, and we make it all go away, right? It's a leprechaun. I think one guy was like, they're like, yeah, it's fun. It's behind a glass case now, but I think you either killed a little person or a kid, and you got away with it. So we're going to make this law that says we protect leprechauns. So you're going to have to prove how this leprechaun died. I guarantee that's what it was. Nope, 2009. So they got a lot. Okay, so apparently there are 236 leprechauns that still live in the caverns in the Slave Foy. In 2009, the EU granted heritage status to the remaining Wee people. That's what it says here. They now have their own protected sanctuary nestled in the mountain. The directive also protects the animals and flora in the area. Sorry, I thought they were calling them animals. I was like, take it easy. Keep it biodiversity of the land safe. Okay, that's cool. That is interesting. Now I know where I want to go. I want to go to the Sleeve Foy. I'm not saying that right. Is there Sleeve Foy? Sleeve IEVEFOYE. I'm going to visit that place. That's where we're going to go. That's where we want to travel. This feels like a new cryptid to me. If they're saying that there's 236 leprechauns still live there. So this is not even talking about the rogue ones that were cast out, all the little red guys. Unless there's 236 red guys too, clericans. I'm not saying that right. There's no way I'm saying that right. I feel like the first couple days of whatever, if I do visit this place, is going to be a lot of them correcting what I'm saying. It's going to get old real quick. Number 12, some accounts say leprechauns can live underwater. So there we go. So let's just add another half. Let's just add another 100. So let's say 330. Wait, 336? 336. There's at least 336 leprechauns living in this area, or 200 there, and then maybe 300 underwater. Let's read about this. The earliest known folk tale to feature a leprechaun comes from the Middle Ages. In it, Fergus Mac Letty, the king of Ulster, falls asleep by the beach. He awakens to find 3 of the leprechaun little bodies. Sorry, Lucropane, attempting to drag him into their undersea lair. The king captures them, but releases them after he has promised 3 wishes. So now they're granting wishes, 1 each, or 3 from just one of them? Like, can only one of them grant wishes? This story suggests the mythical men are sea dwellers, but modern takes on the myth do not often include this lifestyle detail. So I think that's something different. Leper can't believe these facts. Yeah, this is way more interesting. Why don't they mention any of this stuff on the cereal? John, I don't know if you're just making just the pun or if you're genuinely as interested as I am, but Jesus Christ, what's going on with leprechauns? They're living under fucking water? It's not a lifestyle detail, guys. This is a weird fact. Little bodies. So he was dealing with 3 little bodies that were trying to drag him into the Middle Ages. Not the Middle Ages, into the sea. Sorry. Somebody just liked my payment. That's weird. Number 13, leprechauns might have a divine heritage. They're getting cast out. They're getting divine heritage now. I'd say if they're living underwater and they can grant, where did the wishes come in? I've never heard wishes before. I thought, so if he let them go, wouldn't he just come back? So they're underwater. They're not the gold protecting leprechauns. They're the sea dwelling They're the penguin cons. Leprechauns. Are you a leprechaun or are you a leprechaun? I'm a chlorocan. I'm one of the little drunk guys. So leprechauns wishes are like Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin was the one where they're like, oh yeah, wasn't that the one where he's like, guess my name? What's my name, bitch? Put some respect on my name. I'm Rumpelstiltskin. Leprechauns. Some sources, again, some sources say leprechauns are derivatives of the Irish deity Lu, L-U-G-H, Lu, god of the sun and of arts and crafts. That's a weird combo. So, god of a nice Saturday afternoon. Why don't you throw a picnic in there? Sack lunch. They should make an aquatic leprechaun film. Absolutely, Casey. That's the snorkels. The aquatic leprechaun. That was a series they made. It was known as the Snorkels or the Snorks. Snorks. Sorry, the Snorks. It was like the Smurfs, but in the water. And instead of green, they were the Smurfs. Everybody knows the Smurfs are blue. Bring back the Snorks, guys. That's the underwater leprechaun movie where we all want. Some sources say that leprechauns are derivatives of the Irish god of nice, warm afternoons, having a wonderful family day. After the rise of Christianity, Lou's importance was diminished, and he was demoted to a shoemaking folklore character known as Lou Cromain. Wow. So, wow, that's fucking weird. So they're just saying like, oh, this is like, okay, I think this is like how every time Joe Rogan says like, did you know Santa Claus is actually probably mushrooms? And it's like, oh, and then you actually hear him explain it and you're like, holy shit, Santa Claus turns out maybe Christianity has always just been mushrooms. What's up, Cupcake? We're talking about leprechauns. You're getting the last 2 very important facts. Make sure to catch up on the last ones because, Charles, these are fucking crazy. You're not going to believe. Leprechauns, the drunk cousin of the Keebler elf. Yeah, where are elves in this? We're talking about fairies and fucking cast in, cast out, shoemaking motherfuckers. So this guy was a god, and then Christianity was invented, and then they go, now you're a shoemaker? Maybe he retired though. So that like it's kind of, I feel like people try to make athletes feel bad sometimes when they don't have it anymore. And there's some athletes, I think like DC knows that he's really good at other things. Daniel Cormier, what did I say? DC Cormier. Daniel Cormier. He was an incredible MMA fighter, and he is a very good interviewer and commentator. Very entertaining. I like his podcast or his show that he does with Ariel Helwani. And I think I think that like he's a good example of somebody that can like accept like retirement. And then there's other people that are like, oh, doors never close. You never know. Like, I think I think that's hard. So like I maybe the Scott guy necessarily wasn't like cast out and not important anymore. Maybe it was just like, hey, Christianity's here. Cool. You can handle it all with that God, whatever. All right, cool. Peace. I'm gonna go fucking make shoes. I always love making shoes. It's my passion. Don't diminish this shoemaking, you know? But I do like that. Then they're like, but now there's a tradition. He lives on through the lore of the leprechaun. Got to finish that word. Can't abbreviate that one. The lepra. Leprechauns and gnomes are the same thing. I don't think so. Them being fairies does explain the obsession with rainbows. Oh, nice one, John. Very, very progressive of you, John. Pounding off really hard. Wow. And he said he wasn't drunk. I'm just saying. That's sober John. Could be angry. Number 14. You can pretend to be a leprechaun for a good cause. This is a fun fact that you did not know. In March, there are marathons all over the country that encourage the participants to dress like leprechauns. Oh, yeah, this is not fun. I would know that there's fun runs. Why would this be a thing that I probably didn't know? Festive runners help raise money for charity, getting in St. Patrick's Day spirit. Yeah, okay, whatever. And now number 15, you can make your own leprechaun trap. Casey, this might be a fun thing to do with the kid, huh? I always say when anybody with a kid, I always say with the kid or the kids, because I not always know the kids' names. And I'm aware that they have kids. John, I don't think you can do this with your kid. Cupcake, you can do this with the kids, stepkids. Any kids? Making a leprechaun trap is a great activity to share with your children. See, I fucking told you. This St. Patrick's Day, all you need to get started is something shiny to lure the little men. The traps can be simple as a shoebox or as elaborate as your family can imagine. Although no one has caught anything yet that we know of. That's kind of creepy. If it doesn't, but it doesn't hurt to try. So something shiny and a shoebox, I guess. So you can make it as elaborate. You want to make it alluring for the little guy to come in there. These are more like quirky tidbits, than facts. They're fun things, some of which I was not aware of. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Happy St. Patrick's Day. I didn't see that. I was reading Leprechaun Facts. Sorry, Mom. So, yeah, this is the being cast out, and then now they're the bankers, and now they also have to make shoes and all the shit. I don't know who they're making shoes for. They're almost like a mix between like Amish, genies apparently, where they're like granting wishes and shit. But if I was trying to kill somebody or drag them into my watery lair while they're sleeping on the beach, and they woke up, I would be like, I'll grant you 3 wishes. I would say anything for them to let me go. Like, there's no follow through. Like, did he get the wishes? I'm very interested in that. Wife, you just missed out on a ton of facts about leprechauns that were somewhat interesting. Some were some were not. John's also saying, so leprechaun traps are 100% ineffective. Great way to introduce the failure to your little one. Yeah, I think that would be, it could be a life lesson taught. You make a little leprechaun trap with your kid and you let them know, like, hey, by the way, no one's ever caught one. So you give them like the hope that like we could be the first ones. And maybe we can figure out the way to do it. This would actually be a lot of fun to do. This is the first like of Santa Claus is a thing that like we all love Santa Claus because Santa Claus brings us gifts. The Easter Bunny, I never really understood, but my mom would do Easter Bunny stuff. Or maybe it was the Easter Bunny. I don't know. There was no Zoom, there was no hidden camera. I had no idea who it was, you know. But he also, or she, I don't want to gender the Easter Bunny. Pat, it sounds like you really want to do it. I do want to make a leprechaun trap. Do you guys want to make a leprechaun trap with me? I want to do it. Do leprechauns also own their own banks and run Holly? Well, take it easy, John. Come on. Don't be like that. John's definitely hit the bottle a couple times today. But each one of these things has like, but the leprechaun, I feel like there does seem to be a lot of inconsistencies. Some of them are saying, oh, they're granting wishes. Some of them are saying, you let them go, they're going to fill your house with gold. That is a lot of gold. Also, if it's a rundown house, it's very accessible to other people. Why don't you wait till I get home? The leprechaun elite. We should do it. But the leprechaun, this whole thing has the most like you're never gonna get called on it. There's no way to so if I may give parenting advice to parents out there, if you're really gonna lean on one tradition every year, do the leprechaun one because there's really no way to prove otherwise. Each one of these is all an account and each one of them is different. So if we're talking about 336, they have a number. There's so many specificities to it that like there you don't have to rely on one particular thing. And also if 100% of the leprechaun traps were made outside of wherever that fucking place is that they said what was it again? Sleeve foy. Yeah, wherever the fuck that is in Ireland, then yeah. I think they would be considered 100% ineffective because they're 100% where they don't fucking live. None of these things are saying that they can teleport to other places. They're saying that they live there. And if they know, but they're also protected because, again, my theory with that is I think people were bringing in little tiny skeletons with suits and they were going like, where'd you get these bones? This is legend as of right now. We don't know this to be true. You better tell us how the fuck you got these bones. So then they made leprechauns protected. And also, it was a good way to protect whatever that forest is where they preside. Not any of this was taught to me about leprechauns. Leprechauns are the only interesting thing that I found about St. Patrick's Day. Aside from them and being invisible to that's why that was one of the facts that I read early was the reason we wear green is because green makes you invisible to leprechauns, but they never established if anything. What are some facts about clericans? I mean, if we're doing this, facts about CLURICHAUN. This is the Irish Post. It's really just the same pictures that I saw earlier. Wow, these are all the pictures I saw earlier. They're all from this one article. Nope. Oh, Jesus. There's so many ads. Holy shit. Do leprechauns drink beer? Leprechauns drink many kinds of beer and whiskey, especially when celebrating events such as St. Patrick's Day, the birth of children, and weddings. Green beer and Guinness are some of their favorite beer brands. Leprechauns are red-haired, man-like creatures. That's how that I think whoever was writing that little fun fact was also drunk. They also really like uh those things that clip the paper together that you get at office supply places. Those are really fun. Guys also like those pens that have all those different colors. Leprechauns love that when they have their green beer. Not one mention of Hornswoggle. He is the unexplained bastard of the son of Vince McMahon. Excuse me, sorry about that, John. And couldn't make the list. Apparently, that's not a fun fact when you're a bastard son. Ever throw up green beer? Whew, that's an experience for you. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, he says, not for you. I editorialized, but I have thrown up. My favorite is actually when I get to throw up when I throw up cold beer. This is I don't know if this is much like a lot of the different kind of smoking elements for marijuana and stuff like that. I don't think some people are introduced to different ways of drinking than others, but there is a thing, and I'm sure John's knows about it. Maybe some of the other people. A keg stand. Keg stand is where you plant your hands, which I was always too unathletic, both in the arms and also way overweight. So I never felt confident doing the keg stand. So I just kind of drank regular. But the keg stand, you put your hands down and then you kind of do a handstand. People hold your legs over your head, and then somebody puts the beer, or whoever can coordinate it, puts the little beer nozzle in your mouth. Another thing that probably won't return after the Rona, or people that did that I don't think were ever concerned about germs either. So there's not necessarily a lot of people that are going to be concerned about not doing keg stands after the Rona, but that's another fun way to drink that oftentimes if you're celebrating something like St. Patrick's Day or something else. What's going on? How's it going, Susan? But yeah, there's that would oftentimes I don't think you're gonna like this part if you liked anything about the keg stand talk, but that would be oftentimes drinking a little bit too fast. If it's early on and tapping the keg, there's a lot of foam. That would make you throw up. And if it was nice and cold already, it would actually feel kind of refreshing. So that is an experience as well, John. Not just throwing up green beer, but throwing up cold green beer, foam out of your nose. Yikes. That's a lot of fun. But that's a whole new experience. Never much of a whiskey drinker. Never much of a vodka drinker. But I think the last time we really celebrated St. Patrick's Day was in New Jersey. Shout out to John. But it was North Bergen. It was with friends of our family friends. Actually, from Dom's side, Mike and Asenath. We were out in North Bergen and partying with them. That was fucking years ago. Wasn't a kickstand guy, John says. Was more into doing the keg gargoyle. You perch atop the keg and you scowl at everyone while they're drinking while drinking from the keg hose. Wow. I actually like that one too. I oftentimes would dub myself keg security, which meant I got to charge everybody for cups while simultaneously sitting next to the keg. So it was oftentimes a one for you, one for me night. That was my method. I didn't even sit on the keg. I just sat next to it. Very low impact, very low risk of head injury or anything. And then later into the night, everybody becomes a lot more uncoordinated with holding the person's leg as well as the person keeping their arms stiff so that they don't, again, just dive headfirst right into either the ice bucket or the actual oh man, the edge of, can you imagine you fucking like your temple hitting the edge of that keg? In that group of people. So first of all, you're gonna get the reaction of the oh party foul, like a lot of that bullshit. Like that one guy, we talked about it on an episode of Buddha Boys where that kid died. He died. The college kid that fell down the stairs and they just put him on the couch. That was a couple years ago too. Like he was partying too hard or something like that. I think it would be that reaction. You could I even at a young age, it was like, that's just too irresponsible. It wasn't too irresponsible to go drink on the roof. It was always just too irresponsible to drink while upside down, and so very, very unathletic. The other guys, whether it be skating, whether it be just general weightlifting or other interests that they may be in. I didn't hang out with a lot of sports people. Not a lot of John doing the there's the beer bong. That was a lot of fun. A lot of high intensity, like a lot of chugging things. I don't think I understood the appeal. I don't think I understood the mechanics of it. Like, why are you? Because it usually would lead to me like either like puking or some shit. And it's like, why the fuck do I want that? But it's almost like how some people take like they smoke so much until they cough, which gets them lightheaded, which, that's the kind of thing. Like, I think like, do people, I never enjoyed puking. I've mentioned this on the show before. Like I enjoy having somewhat of a streak of non-throw up days. I like it, much like Jerry Seinfeld, and that's maybe one of the only similarities aside from just an enjoyment of doing stand-up comedy. But I don't even know if I love it as much as him. Imagine your obituary had to cleverly word itself around keg related. Yeah, like it wouldn't be as hard as, no pun intended, but it wouldn't be as difficult, let's say, as like an autoerotic asphyxiation death, like an accidental suicide like that. But it would be something like he died doing what he loved. He died drinking irresponsibly. He wasn't. If it's a drinking related death that it does not include driving or other innocent people dying, in my opinion, it's not as tragic. If it's a drunk driver kills self or other people, injures other people, even if it's like, I always thought about, this is a morbid thought, but it's a genuine thought. Speaking of how responsibly I was even thinking at a younger age, even drinking underage, allegedly. But I would even think like, okay, yeah, maybe it would almost be like there was an after school special in my head, but it would be me. My genuine thought would be, yeah, maybe I won't kill myself or the passengers in my car, or maybe let's say I do die in a drunk driving accident, but the other person lives, and like now I kind of like made them an accessory to this. Like now they've been involved, like they've been in an accident where they had to witness a dead body, or they feel responsible for killing a person or something. Like I brought somebody else into that, or the passenger even. Like, so let's say the passenger lives, but I die. Like I've put them through this incredible traumatic experience. Yes, they get to continue to live, but they've been put through this fucking horrific experience. That's obviously a better scenario than killing everyone, but I would even think of that of like, man, what if I just make somebody an accessory to murder? That's fucking nuts. But I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I would want it to be like, there would have to be some kind of lightness to it, because it's like, yeah, it was an incidental thing. If it's a neglect thing, that would be sad. Like, oh, he hit his head on doing a keg stand, and then they threw him on a couch in the basement, like the kid that fell down the stairs or whatever. It's not sometimes, guys. Sometimes it's not just a party foul. it's so hard to, it's not just drivers. I feel like you just need to have a designated sober person or a designated, uh, I don't know, like an adult, not just a chaperone, but like it would be responsible just to be that in a lot of cases. Like I didn't have a lot of that growing up, as far as like a lot of my friends dying and like, or even getting DUIs and stuff. I didn't really experience that a ton growing up. So it wasn't like, it was just it was like precautions, still being very aware of it early on, of like, I just eventually waited out to where like, oh yeah, I like drinking a lot less, a lot less than I don't give as much of a shit about drinking. If I'm at home, like I had cracked open a couple beers last night. I'll tell you what, a couple IPAs, man. Watch a little bit of the YouTube or Netflix with the wife on the couch. Watch you drink some beers, have some ice cream. But yeah, I just even early on, like I would just always be like, I didn't like the permanent, like it seemed like it was like a night ender with a lot of the other things that people would do or that I would experiment with or anything. It felt like, unless it was like a way harder drug, which I never really delved into. Again, like from as in my entire existence in Florida, I very much existed parallel, if not just adjacent to the Florida man. Living in like growing up, we grew up on this dead end street across the street from a factory, but it wasn't a bad it's hard to explain. It wasn't a bad neighborhood. The schools I went to like Lellman, like this nice walking distance of my house. You know, like even bus to the schools I was very like it. I felt like my existence was, what's up? How's it going, Ian? My existence was like very I don't know how to put it. Like I always joked that it was white trash adjacent, because like we didn't feel, I never felt like it was like, oh yeah, we're not like fucking like those people. But like, because in Florida, even being just like just white trash that were like, oh, we don't want to look that way. Like just being a self-aware white trash family, and not saying that's even, I'm not painting everybody else with that brush. This is just for lack of a better term. But even in that sense, in Florida, like if you're not doing meth, like you're doing good. I'm finding that out. Like just because I haven't ticked most major drugs off the list, I'm like, hey, you know, it's you're able to get out of there. If you're able to get out of Florida unmedicated, you can survive. Otherwise, you will eventually become Florida man or woman. And again, that's in my humblest of opinions. We're wrapping up the show, man. Ian Strong is here. We had a lovely show last Friday. That was the last show that we did. Because again, I missed Monday's show. I really do appreciate you guys' patience. Make sure that you resubscribe to the audio only version. If you like an audio only podcast, just subscribe to it. There is no limitations on the episodes anymore. All of the past episodes of GDP Live are there. So you want to catch that past episode we did with Ian, or the Friday before that we did with Casey, where we're talking about spooky stories and the paranormal. If you have your own paranormal experiences or any stories that you want to tell, you can join in this Friday, where I would like to talk about that again, because it's that's one of the things that I could talk about. I could probably do it every single show. But if you want to talk about that, you're more than welcome. If you're not doing meth, you're doing good. Pat George. Fucking love that quote. Hell yeah. Florida, our low bars aren't just for limbo. Hell yeah, Ian. That's right. We're not just a party place in Florida. I learned a lot in Florida. And I learned a lot of um out of Florida too. You know what I mean? Like I learned a lot in and out of Florida. So it's not as I think being unmedicated in Florida is a good way to be able to kind of juke and get out of there. But if you want to, you don't have to. where the fuck was I going? Oh yeah, avoiding Florida Man. But yeah, we if you want to catch any of the past episodes of GDP Live, you can catch the audio only feed. Resubscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. It is the feed with Pat George. It's I know it's confusing, and I'm very sorry. This should be the last move. Hopefully, we ever do. But it is on Spotify. You can subscribe there. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any of those podcast apps that you got there. Make sure that you resubscribe to the audio only podcast. It's going to be up and hours. What was I saying? You know what? You got me like freaked out about. I'm going to go do the math about like when I got my fucking last shot. They were talking about lingering effects, and now people are talking about mental haziness. I could just be very hungry, which I actually am. I don't know if anybody has heard my stomach through this show, but it is fucking grumbling. So I'm gonna go eat some pizza. I enjoyed our conversation as well, Ian. Thank you so much for joining. Don't worry, Casey. You didn't actually freak me out. I'm okay. But we actually, it's funny. We had like 3.5 podcasts worth of conversation that day. Ian and I, we talked before the show. We talked during the show, obviously, and then afterwards we had a lovely lunch at Waffle House together. And it was a lot of fun. We got real deep, and it was a lot of fun talking to you, Ian. We also scheduled for when I will be on his show, which is very exciting. So look for that coming up in the next month or so. And also look for his DDP episode. And subscribe to Strong Words with Ian Strong. Audio only podcast comes out every Monday, and there are a variety of episodes. Make sure you're checking out the Ratings Roundtable, Shot Glass Diaries, or just his regular old interviews. One with DDP coming up. And that is as a young wrestling fan from my youth to somebody who just enjoys yoga. I love me some DDP. So make sure you check out Strong Words with Ian Strong. The new audio only version of GDP. Resubscribe anywhere you get your podcast. If you can't find the link, ask me. But the most recent episode should be today's. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm sorry. And also Ian's on all the other past episodes should be on there. So if you don't see it, just ask me. You can DM me and I'll send it to you. I love you guys.
Bruce.